How big were you when you were at your biggest?
So when I first started, I was 225 pounds, not a single muscle on my body.
Hey there, Coach Devin here. I am super pumped to have a guy on here that I've known a little bit. John Connors, who I like to call the Terminator, because obviously of John Connor from the Terminator. I think that's just the best ever. John owns East Coast Kicks. You can check him out at Eastcoastkicks.ca on Instagram. John, actually, I'm going to let him explain what he does because I don't really understand it, to be quite honest. So, John, welcome to the show.
Yep.
Tell me about East Coast Kicks.
So yeah, again, I'm John. I own East Coast Kicks downtown Dartmouth here on 60 Queen Street. We specialize in like limited edition sneakers and streetwear, things that are sold out of like your regular Foot Lockers and stuff like that. So a lot of our things go for more value than they sell for in a retail store. So a lot of this stuff like doesn't release in Nova Scotia. Some don't even release in Canada. So I import them and bring them in any type of way I can and have them here for people in Halifax to pick up.
So I don't know a ton about, I mean, I like sneakers. I live in sneakers all day, right? I mean, that's what I do. However, I don't know much about limited edition sneakers and that stuff. I honestly know nothing about it. Tell us a little bit about how that works, because I find that fascinating. Like people buy limited edition like drops and all this different stuff, right?
So like normally a shoe will release on like say a Saturday. The shoe will have very limited numbers. Like I'm even more so in Nova Scotia, but the shoe alone doesn't release in a high number. So once that shoe sells out of the retail spot, you can no longer get it for that retail price. So like for example, a Jordan 1 will release for $250 and they go upwards of hundreds to thousands of dollars, right? Within hours, right? As soon as that shoe sold out and you can't get it anymore, it just becomes an aftermarket after that.
So do you find that like your job is a little bit, what you do as a business is a little bit almost like speculating in a way, right? Because you
got to protect it's going to be worth more money. You got to like, I'm investing my own money, hoping to get a return once it sells for more.
Do you find that, I mean, tell me about it. Like, obviously sometimes you hit and you miss. It's like everything in business. Tell me about a really cool time you hit on one that you didn't expect it to be as high as it ended up being.
So like nowadays there's a lot of like online drops. So you go in, you sign up for your size, blah, 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 a week before the shoe even releases. And now they get you, they'll send you an email confirmation, you've got it, blah, 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 blah. So it's a little different nowadays. Like back in the day, it used to be a little bit easier when the stores would actually release the shoes. Like you'd go in Saturday morning, you'd maybe wait in line a little bit, and then you'd be able to pick up the shoe. But now with like the online thing, you're dealing with people building computer bots and everything like that to get in. They're literally into the website before it even released, right?
So what's the most expensive shoe you have ever sold? Because I don't know, honestly, I don't know much about sneakers, like, you know what I mean, outside of the fact that I wear them, but apparently these things sell for a lot, right?
Yes.
What's the most expensive one?
Most expensive shoe in the store right now is $4,000 and it's pre-owned. So it's been worn before.
Oh, yeah. God damn, $4,000.
Brand new, yeah, that shoe is probably like $7,000.
Oh my God. That's wild. And people just come and buy them, right?
What's that?
People just actually come and like people will drive.
Yeah. Oh, I lost your audio there.
Oh, hey, sorry about that. No, we're good.
So yeah, so like it's a little bit hit or miss. Like nowadays people will buy the shoe and put it away. Some will buy it, put it on their feet. But yeah, like that's just the beautiful things about sneakers, right? So if somebody buys an expensive shoe like that and puts it on their feet and wears it, the price for new shoes is just going to go up because you're going to no longer be able to get that shoe brand new anymore, right?
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So what is, do people actually come in and buy like sneakers for their kids that are hundreds and maybe possibly thousands of dollars?
So like with kids, it's a little different, right? Because they're going to grow out of them, blah, 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 blah. But like with my store, we offer consignments. So somebody's able to buy that shoe, wear it, and then sell it again at a later date and still get some of their money.
Oh, this is amazing. I never knew anything this stuff even existed.
Yeah. So like it, like I call it the snowball effect. One time I sold one pair of shoes and it snowballed into like almost 8 or 9 sales. Like the person took the money that they got for their shoes, bought something from my store, which was owned by somebody else. They used the money, bought something else, and it was literally like 9 pairs right down the line.
All right, that's wild. That is just wild. Okay, how the heck did you get into this?
So I lived in Halifax my whole life. Graduated. Then I moved out west where I spent 7 years, and I learned a lot more about shoes and like the resale value and just the culture and everything about it out there is a whole lot different than it is here. So my girlfriend at the time was pregnant with my daughter. So we moved back home and I was scouring Kijiji and Facebook marketplaces and everything and buying all these shoes and selling them to all my friends out west. So then it just became a thing where I was the sneaker guy and I still am kind of thing, right? Whereas I just always had pairs of shoes for sale.
That is wild. It is amazing. I always find it interesting how people get into business.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, I started as a trainer in college.
Yeah.
And I thought this will be a good part-time job. And I still remember thinking at one point, well, I can't do this when I'm 30.
Nope.
And I'm almost 48 now. I'm still doing it.
Right.
Did you ever go through a point like that too, where you're like, well, I won't be doing this forever?
Well, how it started is like it was all not even part-time. It was a hobby, really. You know what I mean? I worked a full-time job. I got a job actually at TRC Hydraulics. So I was making good money in a trade here in Halifax. But it got to the point where I was getting in trouble on my phone for making sneaker deals while I was at work. So it just got to the point where like one day I had enough. I made more money selling 2 pairs of shoes on my drive to work than they were going to pay me that day. So I was like, maybe this is a time to make a jump and try and do something for myself.
So did you find, now I had a similar kind of experience. I was a trainer at New Bodies, which is, for those of us who are old enough to remember, New Bodies predates Good Life, actually. Good Life bought New Bodies. And I was there. I've been at several different gyms. I worked at New Bodies. I was there at their time, their top paid trainer. Had a waiting list for clients. I started doing some outdoor boot camps, just kind of as a for fun thing, because I thought it'd be kind of fun. New Bodies didn't like it, not surprisingly. And it was one of those moments where, kind of like you, I thought, you know what? I'm just going to pull the Band-Aid off. Now, I was the same as you. You had a young child. I had 2 young kids. My daughter was a baby.
Yeah.
Walk me through what it was like for you. Because I know for me at the time, I did it. Looking back in retrospect, I'm like, that's not a wise business decision, Devin. That was pretty stupid. I mean, it worked out, but it's kind of crazy.
When I did it, like I had been doing it for a while by then. And just, I don't know, I just had the feeling that like enough people were coming to me already that if I did make the jump and actually, because like I was doing it all out of my spare bedroom, and like my girlfriend was getting mad at me because I'd have to run out and go and meet somebody, or because I'd never bring anybody right to my house, right? Just dealing with the shoes and having a small child and dogs, right? You didn't want the dogs waking my daughter up, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, it just got to the point where I needed somewhere to like physically be and have people come to me kind of thing, which took a lot of stress and a lot of time and gave it back to me, right? So I had to, you got to meet me between this time and this time, and you got to come to me kind of thing, which made things a lot easier, but also gave me like the structure to build the business.
Was it interesting? I mean, I know for me, when I went from, working out of my house, I had a garage in my home, a gym garage, rather, I should say, in my home. And clients came to me, similar situation. And then I decided I'm going to get a space. I'm going to do this on my own. I was doing boot camps outside, or I was renting space for it. Walk me through how stressful that was for you to say, okay, I'm going to open a storefront, because brick and mortar is a whole different ball game. Yeah. I mean, I had like some rental cost, I guess, I was renting gyms and stuff like that, like gymnasiums, that is, but it's not, super challenging. You're talking like $25. It's not a big deal. When you got a storefront, suddenly things get real serious real fast.
Double sets of bills and this and that. So my first store, I definitely started very small. And I also partnered up with somebody, which made it a lot easier. So somebody else was starting their business, which was shoe cleaning, restoration, and customs. So we meshed really well, and we each fed off each other. You know what I mean? Somebody would come buy a pair of shoes from me, and 2 weeks later they'd need them cleaned by him. You know what I mean? So it went well together, and like, so we're in year 4 now, and we've expanded 5 times in that.
Wow. That's crazy. And you know what? Being in year 4 is a big deal. Most businesses, I don't know if you, I know I'm a little crazy. I talk about this a lot. Most businesses fail within the first 2 years. It's in the high 90s, and most don't make it to 4,
Yep.
which is, if you think about it, I had a client one time say to me something about being successful, me being successful. And I said, I don't know how successful I am. I'm open, right? Like I don't think of myself as being successful. And
Yep.
he said, how long have you been open? I said, almost 11 years. This is about 6 months ago.
Yep.
And he said, you realize most businesses close. Like in 2 years, most of them are dead. They're gone, which is, and that's an interesting one for you too. Have you ever thought of it that way, to go, wait a second, I've been around for 4 years and we've expanded this many times?
Yeah. So like, it's a little different with me because I'm still explaining to people here in Halifax, like I said, the resale market, and like kids will come in with their parents, and their parents are just like, there's no way anybody pays this. But like the kids will come in and they'll be like, this is this shoe, this is this shoe, and this is this shoe. And the parents are just like, you're talking a foreign language to me, kind of thing, right? But one thing to hit on what you just said there, I always say, when you're building a business, like I always say, if you get past the first year, like your friends and family are going to carry you, you know what I mean, for the first year. After that, if your friends and family are going to start falling off, and they're not going to buy as many things as they did before, and that's when you really need to be able to make that next jump up and have people that you don't know buy your products.
Do you find that I talk a lot about, I see, and we both are pretty active on social media. One thing that I say all the time is the biggest problem for every business, and mine included, right, is that nobody knows who the hell you are. There's lots of people in Halifax that are like, Devin Sherrington, I have no idea who that is. 360 Fit, who the hell is that dude?
Yeah.
What do you do to combat that?
So like, it's funny because like I like it, you know what I mean? I go out, I'm the sneaker guy. People don't even know my name. You know, it's kind of funny. People know my daughter's name and won't even really know who I am just from social media. So it's kind of crazy. I mean, Lennox loves it because as soon as you go up, and she doesn't know who you are, but they know who she is. So she's all for it. But yeah, I mean, social media has been a huge part of everything I've done. Right.
It is amazing how, and I mean, when I started 360 Fit, and we're talking 2010, social media was obviously not what it is now. What do you use mostly for you? Because I know I use a combination of Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Yep. What's your big dog? What works best for you?
By far, I got the biggest following on there. I also use like Facebook, Snapchat, anything, right? But it's all like a repost from Instagram. I make the post on Instagram. It's linked to my Facebook. I copy it from Instagram, share it to my Snapchat, blah, 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 right? So very cool. On Instagram, but my website was by far my best investment, because anything on it, then people right to the website, right? And that's where you can see everything that's by size, by category, everything like that. So,
all right, so we're going to change gears a little bit. So you had actually, how I met you is you came to the gym, and we wanted to, like, you don't always hit it off with everybody. But I always like everybody. I say that a lot, but you don't always hit it off and click with people. We really got along well, like right out of the gate. You have actually a really crazy transformation story that people who know you now,
don't even know.
Idea. So walk me through. Talk to me about like when you were like the least healthy you've been, and how you changed that.
So like I'd say I was the least healthy right before I started my whole journey. You know what I mean? I went through a breakup with my baby mother. So I was living by myself, unhappy to begin with. So, and then that's when I really found the gym. You know what I mean? I started small, like anybody does, just a regular Fit for Less, going there and people watching, really learning what to do, blah, 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 blah. And then, that's when I met Bobby, actually. And then that's how we all got linked together. And it's been a story ever since then.
So anybody who doesn't know, Bobby Peterson works with me. He's worked with me for over 5 years now. I actually took, believe it or not, it took me like 3 years to recruit him. I've known him since he was in college. We met years ago. He used to work at a supplement store beside Park Lane New Bodies, and I used to come in there and talk to him, and we got to know each other then. Anyway, it took me 3 years of of bugging him before he came to work for me. How big were you when you were at your biggest?
So when I first started, I was 225 pounds, not a single muscle on my body. I, like I said, I started small, just getting there, you know what I mean? Making it into a routine. And then that's why I met Bobby through like the sneaker community, actually. And that's when he started, putting a program together for me and bringing me to the gym and let me go through there. Right. And then once I came to your guys' gym and realized the vibe and the different ways to work out kind of thing, that's when I really fell in love with the gym, with your gym. Right.
So a cool thing that I think is interesting, and I look at it from a trainer perspective, right? Did you realize you were a good athlete before you came to the, because you got some, like, there's a lot of stuff you can do. You're strong as hell. You can jump out of the gym. Did you know that was a thing before you started working out?
I always played hockey growing up, but I was always the goalie, so I was always lazy. You know what I mean? So I wasn't skating. I wasn't the one doing the drills after and everything like that. So I was always athletic, but I never really took it seriously. I'd never gone to the gym before either. Like never lifted weights or did cardio or did anything really until I really put a spin on things there. It probably going on like 3 years now that I've been steady in the gym.
Now the transformation on that, you went from 225 or so down to what are you down?
I'm 189 now, but like I said, I've got more muscle on my body than I ever even thought I could.
And the cool thing is, I mean, you had a post there. I remember seeing you do the video a little bit ago, and you deadlifted like what, 405 or more, right?
Yeah. So straight deadlift, and then on the trap bar, I've done even more. I think I'm pretty over 500 on that thing. So,
which is those, for anybody who doesn't know, that is a ton of weight for anybody, but it's a ton of weight when you're 189 pounds. Like that is significantly more than your body weight. That is impressive. What it always amazes me though is your ability to jump. John does some very cool, he'll do some box jumps and he's got some springs on him. Like it is impressive stuff.
I never would have ever tried, you know what I mean? That's Bobby pushing me outside my comfort zone and making me do things that I normally wouldn't do, right?
Do you find that people treat you differently now, the way you are, exercising, and you look very different than they did when you were, say, in your 220s?
Yeah, I mean, people like, just me personally, like I'm in a different mood all the time. I'm happier, and like it sparks conversation. You know what I mean? Like, what are you lifting in the gym, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So it's a good way to live my life. I definitely agree with that.
That's awesome, and it's a cool thing to show your daughter too, because
100%.
that I talk to parents all the time about that. I'm like, look, I get that it's hard to have time to carve out time for working out and all those things, and your daughter's young. But if you want to be a good spouse, if you're going to be a good parent, if you're healthy, you'll be a better parent. Like your stress level is so much lower. And when you're a business owner, you need some way to blow off stress. That's just the way it is.
I call it my alone time, you know what I mean? And like even now, so when I got like Reese and Trevor with me now, and they're a push, and as well as like outside of the gym, we're talking about it, you know what I mean? So we're thinking about the next time we're in there, stuff like that.
It's awesome. All right. So what is the next step for East Coast Kicks? Where are you guys? Where's your goal? Like if I could wave a magic wand right now and be like, all right, you're going to go where you want to go. Where do you want to go?
So like everybody always asks me, you're going to open another store, you're going to put another store. So like I see myself as like a destination spot. You know what I mean? So I'd like to have one solid location where anybody can come to, because we operate online all the time anyway, right? You can order right on the website. It's shipped out the same day. So anybody that's too far away can still have access to what we have. But like, I essentially want to have one solidified location at some point. Like I said, we've expanded 5 times in the 4 years. I'd like to find a home base and really work around that for the next, 3 years. We're in a lease right now until September. But after that, I'm looking to sign my first like real big lease kind of thing.
What size wise, do you want to get bigger on it, or do you want to stay roughly the same size you're?
this last expansion gave us all the room we needed outside and for display and everything like that. Now we're too big in the storage room, right? So each shoe has a box, and we're running out of room to store the shoes.
I would say that had to be, you know what's funny? The gym where I am in 360 Fit, when I went in there to look at the space, it was actually we're about 8,800 square feet, but there was 3 spaces. So it was over 20,000 square feet. And it was actually Cleve's sneaker warehouse. And when I walked in there, it was like racks to the roof, like 18 feet up. And there's about 4 feet to walk in between.
Take you for a little spin right quick.
Yeah, let me see it. I'd love to see it.
Can I spin this out? Oh yeah, look
there
at
you
this.
Go.
Floor to ceiling.
Oh my God.
We're literally the whole way here.
Wow.
Everywhere. There's nowhere to room. I used to have a bridge that I have to walk under, but I took it down so we could literally go floor to ceiling everywhere. Literally
wow.
everywhere. Filled
that
to the
is
brim.
amazing.
Pretty cool, eh?
Oh my God. How many pairs of shoes do you have in there?
In here, I don't even know. I think we're up over 800 total items, but that's including clothing.
Oh my gosh.
So quite a bit. And I started to cut back on what I'm taking in for consignment. So before I used to take anything and everything, whereas now I'm trying to keep my price, like the shoe price is a little bit higher, so I don't have all this stuff for like under $100 kind of thing that you can basically probably get something better at like a Foot Locker or something like that.
All right, so last question. What is the best and the worst part of owning a business? And I tell people all the time, for me, there's a ton of things I love about business and some things I don't like so much. The stuff that I don't like is very minuscule, and the stuff that I like is big. But tell me the top thing for you that you love and the thing that you hate the most about business.
The thing I love most is networking. You know, getting to meet people, being able to collaborate, doing giveaways, all that kind of thing. I love it. That's by far my most favorite part of it. I'd definitely say the downside of it is people judging you. You know what I mean? Like I often have people think I'm rich, and I'm just like, no, I'm not far from it. Like I borrow $10, like, so like, and I've put everything I have back into it just to grow it even bigger. And a lot of people don't really understand that. They just think I'm selling and taking everybody's money kind of thing. But like, I haven't even really paid myself yet since starting this. So I just want people.
It is always amazing. Everybody thinks that if you own a business, you're rich. I'm always like, that just means you get paid last. You're the last guy to get paid. Yeah. John Connors, listen, I appreciate having you on, my friend. For those of you who don't know where John Connors is, check him out. Eastcoastkicks.ca on Instagram. He's got tons of stuff on there. Even if you're not a sneaker aficionado like me, he'll have some cool stuff for you. What were you going to say, John?
Yeah, we got a little bit of everything, man. We got candy, we've got keychains, we got a little bit of everything down here.
Awesome, John. I appreciate it, my friend. I'll see you tomorrow at the gym.
Absolutely, bro. Take care.
All right, take care, brother.
See you soon.